Hi everyone, it's me Claudia here, the Wellness Universe, for one more live streaming and interview with our authors for the new book coming up, 25 Tools for Transformation. Yeah, in a few days we're about to launch the new book. We are very excited about that. We have also an event coming up, the Alzheimer Foundation. Hello Kathleen, hello Anna. So happy to be here with you. Let me see if our guest is here. Rachel. Hello, Marisa. How are you?
Hello.
Hello. You see, work so fast today.
Yes. I was just at a camp for kids with special needs and was sweaty, but came on for this IG Live stat. So thank you for having me.
Of course, our pleasure. This interviews, it's amazing because you get to know more about all of you and the stories you're sharing in the book. So precious. So I'm the one that's grateful.
Thank you.
So I'd like to start you explaining a little bit about your chapter, what you're sharing with us in this new book.
So my chapter is really about three sentences that changed my trajectory. And they were said at different points in my life by key people in those moments. And
Mm-hmm.
that one sentence just really made me stop and wake up my soul. And it made me change the direction I was heading. So, the first part was really something that was said by my father. The second sentence was said by my now husband. And the third one was said by a practitioner that I was going to. And they were all perfectly timed to have me stop, reflect, and say, this isn't the right direction anymore for me. I need to do something different. And then that's how that chapter is broken down, that just a simple sentence really can change where you're heading and what you're doing and can help you pivot in ways that are more healing and help you be your best self.
Wow, that's so beautiful. Yeah. Oh, Denise join us.
Hi, how you doing?
Hello.
Hey,
Such a pleasure
thank
having
you.
you today with us.
Okay,
Oh, yeah, that's
okay,
perfect.
okay, okay.
Oh, it's so amazing to have so powerful women here. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Rachel, and you're explaining about that, and when you notice that it was like the turning point for yourself in this during this process, because as you're saying, a lot of people involving and all of you're going through.
Yeah,
I was
so
curious about that.
so the first sentence was really said by my father when it was actually the summer of my eighth grade, growing and going into ninth grade, and I had, kind of an emotionally absent mother, and I had engaged in an eating disorder at that time. And my dad said to me, "You have the hands of an old woman." And I
Mm,
remember that sentence piercing the fog that I was really living in. And I remember being a bit shook by it, rattled, and I like looked at myself and I was like, that's not what I want. That's not what I want at all. And it like woke me up. I can't think of a better way to say it. It was just that sentence pierced my heart and I was like, wait a minute, I don't want that. And and it really was like a waking up to that information. And it was said by somebody I loved deeply and dearly,
yeah.
affected, and it helped me.
Wow. Oh, that's really
Fine.
powerful. Really powerful. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
And Denise, Rachel just talked a little bit about her chapter. I want you also to dive in to talk more about what you're sharing with us in your chapter in this book, 25
Okay.
Tools for Transformation.
Thank you. Yeah. So in this chapter, one of the things I wanted to share was just about an incident that happened with me that really helped me a lot. I think a lot of times there are people in your life that come through, and it seems like just for that moment to just kind of speak into your life, things that you just don't know that's going on. So I talk about a woman's worth and how someone that I didn't know actually spoke to me just words of encouragement without really knowing me at all and how it changed just the trajectory of my life. So, yeah.
Wow, and that's a moment in your book, that in chapter you're sharing about the selfish and to think of the self, because women pretty much was, you cannot think about yourself all the time because you're being selfish. But how come you're gonna take care of the others if you're not take care of yourself first of all? So I want you to maybe try to explain to us, where do you think this belief come from and how this damage for us women?
Well, I think one of the things I talk about is that a lot of times women are hurting and in pain because of something that someone said. And just like Rachel was saying, someone said something in your life. It might be someone close to you. It could be a lot of different things, and sometimes it's societal. And so I think that selfish piece is partially societal, where we're taught, especially as women, that, and I think it's also part of our nature to nurture and to take care of people, and to and that type of thing is also looked at upon as that's a really good woman. Look at her. That's a really good mother. Look at her, how she puts herself out, how she takes care of, her family and her children and all of that type of thing. And so it's something that's not only expected and spoken into our lives by society, but it's also encouraged by that as well. And so we grow up learning that to take care of self is selfish, because now I'm taken away from all those people that I'm here to serve, and all those people that need me. And so, that is one of the things that I think we're learning now, but for most of my life, it's been, that is, you're being selfish. Now, in the last, few years, maybe 10 years, we're learning that no, self-care is self-care, and it's not selfish, and it's what you need. But that's only been lately that we really started to turn to that and embrace it.
Yeah. Rachel, do you feel like that as well? Like during your process, you think that this voice was also on your process?
About, tying that to this idea of the love languages, right? When I've done that before, I love gifts, or I love quality time with people, but that what happened in that process of giving, and maybe that's the way you like to love people. What happens is self-care gets lost because you fall into being that person and starting to feel like you can't say no, instead of,
Yes.
and so you fall into that, like a trap that initially you like, right? You're like, initially you can serve that way and you can show up that way, but eventually it can get disordered in the sense that you can overfunction. And all of a sudden you're like, wait a
Yes.
minute, I'm in this process. I don't know. And, I agree, where it's this idea of like, well, how do I receive so that I can give? They come in equal measure versus just give. And so really
Yes.
the between both is really what I think you're speaking to, Deneen, where it's this flow of energy to give to ourselves so that we can give to others, a receiving and a giving.
Right. Exactly.
I love the way,
Exactly.
although the chapters of you both, it's different stories for different backgrounds, but they are also in some way connected. That
Mm-hmm.
things that I love this series, not just 25 Tools for Transformation, but all the series of the Guide of Complete Self-Care, because I have a feeling that also that was one of the Anna's idea when she had this amazing, brilliant idea to bring us, to
Yeah.
give this book. It's like we are all human at the end of the day. We all go through process, and it's painful, and you're going to sometimes things that was like, why I'm experiencing that, and then eventually, all when you have your awakening process, that you're saying like, oh, I think that's why, So I love that it shows like with vulnerability, and also like, okay, but right now, from now on, what's next? What I'm going to do differently to
Right.
a point in my life that I'm not going to go through this anymore. And all of these tools you're sharing, it's also treasure because it's helped us a lot deeply. So it's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It does intersect. I see with a lot of the other authors, a lot of the things that we're saying. Some we're coming from different perspectives, but we're crossing, at some point. So it's really nice.
Well, and I think, we learn these things incrementally too. So, you have this awakening and you're like, okay, I got it. And then you're maybe faced with it in a little different way and you're like, oh, I'm learning it again. You know what I mean? In a different. So I think that's the other piece too that I think some of our chapters speak to is a relearning of kind of the same idea of finding transformation steps so that it's not always just this like one moment that you have that transforms you. It's stepping in the direction of transformation too.
Hmm.
Yeah. And Denise, in your chapter, you bring you some tools that I think it's also connected to that. So, okay, forget about being selfish and let's go through what I really deserve. I mean, the sense of worth. You're trying to address this as well, right? Like to connect us with this point that I am worthy of all the best. Like I don't care anymore about belonging in if people want to think that I am like part of this or not. I am worthy because I'm here and the creator does not make mistakes. So if I'm
Yeah.
here, it's because I deserve to be here.
Yeah, and but that takes, that is a journey. And I'm sorry, my it's Denee. Um, but it is a journey, because we don't always recognize it as something that's about my worth. I know when my angel, as I call her in my chapter, when she first spoke to me and first really poured into me, I wasn't thinking I wasn't really thinking that I'm not worthy. I was just thinking that I was a failure, that I was a failure in everything, and why couldn't I get things right? And I just felt like, if I'm not the best daughter, the best wife, the best mother, the best, all of those things, I'm just a failure. But I didn't look at it as something that really was about my worth. I just looked at it as something I need to try harder. you know, I just need to work harder. I just need to push harder. I just need to to do more. I'm not doing enough. So it took a while really to realize that the root of a lot of this was in my self-worth. And I found it through a couple of ways. One, with her pouring into me, but also there was a time, I still remember this. I had, I had achieved something, right? And they were telling me about what my rewards would be. And as they were saying it, I heard myself saying to myself, I'm not worthy. And I had to think, wait, did I say that out loud? Because it even startled me for me to think, really? Um, and so I realized I needed to really to deal with that. And then when I see a lot of women who are, I mean, they are just badasses. They will be up on a stage, and I remember one particular woman. She was up on a stage and she was speaking to people globally, and it was just powerful. And she stepped down off the stage, and she said to me, "Do you think I was okay? What do you think?" I don't know. And I thought, "Are you kidding me? You were fabulous." Um, but I think it really went to how she felt about herself and that worth. So a lot of times that's where we need to start is really looking at that and working with that foundation of worth.
And I love that. That's one of the reasons it's so important to have this community, right? Together and to
Yes.
our stories and to inspire ourselves all the time.
Well,
Yeah.
and I think handling it correctly too is what you're saying, Danae, is just being able to finally get to the place where you're just like, wait, what's underneath
Yeah.
what gets lost? It's like, well, what really am I experiencing? What emotion am I really trying to overcome, or what?
Yeah, we're losing you, Rachel. You're breaking up.
Yeah.
Sorry, did it come
No,
back?
it's not. Yes.
Yes. So I just think it's under like determining what's underneath there is the thing that for me too, I had to uncover. And again, that's a journey and there's steps to it where you're like,
Hmm.
wait a minute, what is underpinning this? Is it worthiness? Is it, you know, what other emotion am I experiencing? Is it frustration, resentment? What working through?
Yeah. Oh, Marissa is saying it's time for us to let go of believing we have to prove to self-worth. We are worthy because we exist. Exactly.
Yes, exactly. And we are enough. We
Yeah.
are enough. Yeah.
Amazing. So, I would like you girls to share more about your tools in the book. Like, what are you sharing these tools? Because this book specifically, you have more than 25 tools. You have
Yeah.
not to mention that we have the transformation journey that will bring us even more tools for experience this transformation. So, I would like you girls to explain a little bit about yours.
Oh, I'll go first.
Okay.
Well, one of the things I found is that often we get stuck in a way of seeing the world. And often we get into a place where we can go into a mindset where like, what's coming for me, what's happening next, looking around ourselves for the world to validate our sense of worth, or,
Yeah.
and help us be grateful by trying to like see how gratitude's showing up. And one of the things I found that was beneficial for me is actually to do the opposite. And that is to ask myself, well, how am I going to show up in a high vibe capacity? And so that's really the journal, planning out like, what am I going to do with where my feet are planted to create goodness around me? How am I going to create a vibe I want to live with? And it doesn't have to be major. It's like if you're walking down the
Right.
street, I'm picking up, maybe a wrapper today, or I see somebody and I see that they're struggling to reach something at the top of a shelf. I'm going to help them. And then when you come home, you can write the down of how you change the vibe around you, how you engage
Mm.
thoughtfully that you occupy, versus sitting at home and trying to think of ways to go out and then identify ways you engaged and that you change the environment around you. So you can either plan those moments ahead of time, or you can go out into the world, challenge yourself to engage with the people around you're in, and then come home and write about, well, what did I do today to change the space I occupy? So it's just switching it. And I, am a person that believes in faith and action. And so for me, that's really where that comes from. It's like, well, how am I engaging versus how I'm passively waiting? So that's my tool for people, is to try to shift that perspective and
Hmm.
engage.
Yeah, amazing. Anna is saying thanks for sharing it too. Powerful too, Rachel. Leah, instead of looping around ourselves, how did I thoughtfully engage to change the world around me? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
powerful. Love it. What about you, Denise?
Well, for me, I think one of the things that I talk about in my tool is the self-talk that we have. A lot of us carry around a lot of negative self-talk, or even a little bit of negative self-talk, and it came from all of those other places, right, outside of us. And it's amazing. I also love to study the brain and how the brain works, and it's amazing how you can change that self-talk by replacing it with positive talk. And so, just words are powerful. They're just powerful. And I find that that old thing that says, "Sticks and stones may hurt my bones, but words will never hurt me." Words are powerful. And so, I think one of the things that starts in my tool is about giving yourself positive self-talk. And if most of us have, for me, most of us have a higher power that we trust in, that we believe in, that we don't, that's not coming at us with an agenda or anything like that. And so when we look to that higher power, and when we lean into that higher power, and for me, it's God, I can depend on how He looks at me. And if I sit back and get out of myself, then really kind of take that in and look at that self-talk and replace it with positiveness. And so one of the things that my tool starts with is affirmation. A lot of times people think, well, affirmation is just, you're just talking. You're just talking. But you're not. You are affirming. and that those positive affirmations can replace a lot of those negative affirmations. And so when those negative thoughts come up, you have something there as ammunition to attack that and to for that to bounce off of. And you can start, and it will start to change you. It will start to change you when that negative self-talk goes away and starts being replaced by positive self-talk. It will change the way you live. And so that's one of the things that is part of the beginning of my tool, because I'm talking about really looking at your foundation and really looking at your foundation of worth. And so if you look at really changing that self-talk, you look at, and then the second part really is looking at your values, because a lot of times we have limiting beliefs around us, and some of it is because we haven't really addressed our values. And so if we step back without all of the noise around us and really consider what our true values are, and then compare that with how we're living, and are we living in alignment with our values? And so that's another part of it, is really looking at our values, looking at limiting beliefs, and looking at boundaries, which can be difficult, but I found boundaries to be very powerful in my life. And it can be difficult for women because we're not used to saying no or not now or those type of things. But sometimes we have to just make room for ourselves and our own lives. And then once we can get that foundation, then we can go anywhere from there. But I'm looking at really peeling back the layers, as Rachel was saying, and getting to the core of what is going on with you, and working on that foundation, because you don't need to be fixed. You just need to be reconnected with who you really are. And a lot of times the world has pulled us so many different ways, we're just disconnected.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's deep. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, I have a feeling that whenever like you're in our healing process, sometimes you want something magical, right? Like changes. No, let's
Right.
to the moment that I'm already healed. I don't want to go through this process anymore. I'm done. But then again, it's just the simple things. Like you're sharing simple tools, but I always say that during our interviews here, that's something you can put in your daily basis, and it's
Yeah.
make real difference. Because sometimes we want to think like, oh, this is gonna be huge, and then you cannot do it. Like the next day, you're not doing anymore. But all the things you're saying is something that you can put on a daily basis, little by little, step by step, being generous with ourselves.
Well, and
Yeah.
I think
I can hear you, Rachel.
I'm not sure why.
Yeah, now I can listen. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Barely. No.
I'm not sure. Sorry.
Now I can hear
Mm.
you.
Okay. Okay. So what I was going to say is that, we think that transformational moments are big. And I would say that it's a building up. And we often look around us for these like global events. Like, how do I
Yes.
affect change on this global level? And it's like, well, really start with who you are and affect change where you are at, and that's
Mm-hmm.
by leading through your values. Like Denee saying that, what is that? And then how do you put that into action when you leave your house? What does that look like for you? Where do you show up thoughtfully based on those values, those I am statements that are affirming you of your self-worth when you get home? Like, you know what, I made a difference today for that one person,
Yes.
that one moment. So I think what I love most about all the tools is that they compound each other and they make each tool better.
Yes,
Yeah.
They don't
absolutely.
stand alone.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot of comments here. I'm so excited. Leah is saying, I know, Leah, I read this. Sandy, I love that, Rachel. We all could use that change in how to change the world around me.
Hmm.
Anna is saying, yes, and Claudia corrects me when I have negative self-talk. Cancel, cancel. Yeah, I always say that. Shut up. I don't want to hear you. I'm better than this. Said it done. Yes, words, especially positive self-talk, so powerful. I agree with Denise. Negative self-talk came from outsiders, replaced with our positive self-talk, rooted in our higher powers view of us. The spoken word is powerful and carry vibration. Ditch the negative self-talk for real. You don't need to be fixed. Amen. Yeah, that's powerful. I love what you're sharing, Denise. Creating healthy boundaries is essential in order for us to live more authentically and more connected to ourselves and others. Transformational moments by putting your values into action. I'm statements, yes. I have to hold hop. Oh, okay, Mercy said. I have a question here. I think. Oh, Anna is asking us. When do we stop to ask ourselves this? Are we ever too old?
Oh.
Never, ever, ever.
Well, no, never. I mean, I heard recently about a woman who had decided she wanted to visit all the parks, all the national parks. And it was kind of funny because I had just thought, I want to visit all the national parks, but I probably won't make it through all of them because I'm too old, right? But I can start it. And like the next day, of course, it pops up in my feed about this woman. I think she's now like 92 or 93, and she's visiting she just got her certificate for visiting all of the parks, all the national parks in the US with her grandson. And she started in her mid 80s.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
that shut that down for me right
I
then.
love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think, there's studies out there to say neuroplasticity is real. You can continue to change your brain and grow.
Yes.
And I think that a sense of curiosity and wonder allows us to live a long and vibrant life. And again, it's small moments of curiosity. And it's again just engaging in that world that you live in and being curious about it and wanting to learn about the world, the people, everything. That's what keeps you young and keeps you excited about the future. For me, that's a real game changer. It's just being here and being vested. And I know that can feel hard in hard times, but that's why, those I am statements, working on your values and your
Yes.
foundation, about how do I go into the world and bring action that feels aligned with those other pieces of me, make a difference.
I
Yeah.
love it. Legacy.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And Rachel, I mean, I completely agree with you because it's just those little things. It doesn't take, a huge thing. It can be these very little things that bring you joy, but that little piece of joy, that little nugget of joy can just really change your day. And so I think those are very, very important. And that's, one of the things that I talk about. And like you said, sometimes we have those things that bring us joy, but we're not doing them right now because we are consumed with everything that's going on in the world and working for everybody else to make sure that they get the joy, making sure that they have it in their life without really stopping to have it in our life. And so once we do that, I met with a woman one time and she said, I don't think I have a passion. I don't think I have anything that I'm passionate about. I thought, oh my goodness. But it had just been buried. It was there, but it was just buried under so much of just really self-neglect. And a lot of that was in helping everybody else do everything else and just not thinking about yourself. So it took some time to pull back those layers to find those things that brought her joy because she had spent so much time just pushing that down. And speaking to you as someone who is retiring at the end of the month, which is on Monday, I can tell you that all of those things that bring me joy are just bubbling up to the surface. But what I also tried to do was not wait until now, just to grab a little bit. Maybe I couldn't do it 100%, but I could do a little bit. So one of the things that I found out after after that woman spoke to me and told me how depressed I was, and I had to go home and think about that. And she told me about what she did. And what she did was just really sit down and say, well, what do I like? What do I want to do? And she thought about, and for her it was bowling, which actually I love to bowl. But for me, it was acting. And so I didn't feel like I was in a position to quit my job and move out to LA and pursue an acting career and wait tables and sleep on couches because I had three little ones at home and a husband, so I had a home. But I could take acting classes. I could, audition for the local plays. I could, there was so many things that I could do to right then, right now, to bring me joy around acting. And so, I just come back to what you said, Rachel. It doesn't take a monumental thing. It can be something very small. And for me, I mean, that's where it started. And, you think, oh my goodness, if I say I can't take my child, to these 20 places today in the morning because I want to do this one thing for me, how terrible am I? I'm a bad mother. But I found that when I got over myself and I said that to them, they were like, oh my gosh, go. This will be great. And I said, well, what about, me getting you to, oh, mom, we're fine. So a lot of times I was doing it to myself.
Mhm.
And they wanted for me what I wanted for them, to be happy and to be fulfilled and to live your best life. And that's what they wanted for me. And so it was really, once that hit me, it was really important for me to really take that to heart because everything that I'm doing, I'm modeling for them.
Mhm.
And so if I'm modeling that I'm going to just wear myself out running you around and do nothing for me and totally deplete me, that's not modeling a good, really what I want for them. So, out of the mouths of babes, right? They spoke to me and confirmed that, no, mom, it's okay. Go do it. And that made me, it gave me permission. And so I started doing that and I became happier and healthier and so did they.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and I
Oh,
think if you lose inertia, it's hard to get it back. That's why it's easy to think just big, and then you get lost in the big vision. And it's like, nope, I
yeah,
just it's just to get that inertia, get that forward momentum again. It's like, nope, I can take an acting class. I can try out for this. And so that those are moments of like steps that give you inertia that keep you going too.
yes,
A lot of times we get caught in this really big idea and we get lost in that big idea. And so we do nothing.
right.
Um, and I think that's really a powerful story of like, well, I can't do that because this is my life circumstance, but I can do this. That's all.
Yeah,
I love that. Thanks for sharing. It's so powerful. And I mean, you're saying about your family, but that's why all of us,
yeah.
this is a powerful story. And we can like, I like to go when you're saying about age, like going against the grain, like aging means that we are alive, you know? I love my birthday be older, getting older and older because I'm having more experiences and being here in this
Yeah.
world difference. I don't care about wrinkles and Botox, whatever. you know, you're alive. That what really matters.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, you get lost in that story. It is. I mean, as someone that's old, getting older, that is a story that's easy to get lost in, and people stop dreaming for themselves and
yeah.
the transitions of potentially kids leaving their house or moving into retirement. Those are big transitions, and I would tell people you want to plan a little ahead. I think it's really smart, Denee, that you're like, I'm setting this up even before I retired.
Amazing. Oh, I would stay here like the whole day talking to you because there's so much more to talk. But unfortunately, you have to finish this. I know guys are busy as well. But we're coming up. The new book launch will be
Yes,
7 July, 8 July, sorry. And we'll have this event as well for the fundraiser for the Alzheimer. I think a lot of you will be there with us. So we'll be sharing the link for you guys to join us. And you can donate, can be part of this movement that Anna, once again, Anna Pereira, we love you deeply. You are our goddess. Thank you for
yes,
all of us together.
yes.
And also the transformation journey in the second semester. I think it would be by October. You guys are excited for that as well?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so thank you
Excited, a
so
little nervous, but excited. Yeah.
and I cannot wait to see you acting more. Rachel, I want to talk to more about your life as well. So thank you so much. I hope to see you soon.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Claudia.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.